A breakup can be a traumatic experience. I help my clients dealing with that state, that phase in people's life. You might be feeling very depressed, very anxious, and I'm making this video to explain the benefit of no contact. If you feel this way, if you feel that this breakup is extremely hard for you to deal with, you want to really basically reduce that amount of time where you feel this pain, and no contact can actually accelerate the healing process. I'm not saying that by going no contact, your ex will forget you, you will never get back together. But no contact for me and as a therapist is a great tool, is a great strategy to feel better. And if you want to get back with your ex, you need to feel better anyway. So I'll explain everything after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
The first one is that it helps with emotional healing. A breakup has a massive impact on our life, on our psyche, on our mind, on our emotions. And when you're in touch with your ex, you're maintaining that level of distress. You're thinking that by staying in touch, you are helping yourself to feel better because you assume that what makes you feel depressed and anxious is that you're away from your ex, you don't have any news from your ex. The reality is that the reason you're so depressed or so anxious, or you have a really hard time managing this breakup, is because you don't have what you want, right? And by being in touch with them, you're still maintaining this idea as you don't have what you want. They reply politely, they're kind of nice. Usually they will be very cold and distant, but you don't get what you want. And so it's extremely important for you to create that environment where you don't have this mental load from the relationship. It's very important to really let go of this idea that if you're in touch with your ex, you will increase your chance of getting back together. In other words, by staying in touch with your ex, you're not improving your chances, you're actually making it more complicated, and I'll explain why as well. But also from your point of view, you're maintaining this state of distress. Second thing is, it does reduce anxiety. So anxiety is basically, if I really create a very, very short definition of anxiety, is about thinking obsessively about something you can't control. And the reason we obsess about those things is because we can't control them. And so when you're in touch with someone who doesn't want you right now, who rejects you right now, you try to fight and you obsess about the idea and you try to find a way, because people who are anxious are really smart, but their intelligence works against them at making plans and scenarios in your head. Perhaps let me know in the comment section if you recognize yourself when something doesn't work the way you want. You'll find so many scenarios in your head, you run so many things in your head. That creates anxiety. It's an amazing tool if you're a project manager, if you're running a business, when you always have to anticipate things and prepare for the worst. That's amazing. In your case, if you want to get back with your ex, if you want to feel better after a breakup, just realize that it's not working for you. It's not helpful. It's not getting you anywhere. And it's actually the reason you're feeling so anxious. Okay? So you feel the pain will reduce if you speak with them. That's not true. Okay? And you've probably experienced that if you've been in touch with your ex, your pain is the same. Right? Third one, helps you move forward. Staying in touch with your ex is staying in touch with that old relationship. Your job, if you want to get back with your ex or if you want to move on, is the same mechanics. You need to force yourself to look forward. I often say in my videos, your relationship is dead. You have to accept it. The point is not to revive that old broken relationship, but it's to create a new one with your partner. And by staying in touch with your ex constantly, by trying to get their attention, you're trying to revive a dead relationship. You're trying to fix something that in your ex's eyes is broken. And so it's important for you to, get into that no contact phase, to force yourself to move forward and see your life ahead rather than backwards. And that's the only way you can set yourself for success. Fourth one, it's a very practical one, but I see that very, very consistently amongst my clients. You avoid drama, conflicts. You might be thinking, I'm in touch with them, they're very friendly, we have great conversation, we talk about our pets or about our, our hobbies and stuff like that. The problem is that at some stage, because you're going to be in touch with someone who doesn't want you, you might be upset, you might be angry, you might create conflict. You would want to discuss about the relationship, discuss about the breakup. This is the last thing your ex wants to discuss right now. So the thing is, because it's emotionally draining for you, it's emotionally draining for them, you should avoid. Again, no contact. I'll discuss afterwards whether you should have an indefinite no contact or whether you should do it for a short or medium period of time. But it is essential to really reduce any potential of creating conflicts or discussion that your ex won't be comfortable with. It's extremely important if your ex is avoidant, they hate conflict, they don't want to discuss about the nature of the breakup, about the reason, about intimacy, the reason they broke up, or how you feel. Right now, that's not what they want. Right now, they want space, they want time to reflect. And you also need this. You don't feel like it, but trust me, you need that time. So I like anything that's broken, you need a bit of time, you need some space to repair the resentment, the emotions, and figure out your life. The fifth one is maintaining boundaries. Your ex doesn't want you right now. She doesn't want you right now. The thing is, if you stay in touch, you create that, you friend zone yourself. And that's dramatic for you because that's not what you want. It's going to be harder for you to get back with your ex if you stay in touch with your ex and have meaningless conversations. The problem is that, as we discussed the point before, anytime you want to get to a deeper conversation, they'll push back and they move away. So that's why you need to create that space, you need to create that distance between you and them to force yourself to set your limits. You don't want to be their friend. You don't want to have shallow relationship with that person. So by going no contact, that reinforces the idea that it's not what you want and that you are drawing the line. I know there's an element of letting go, of trusting the process. You might not feel like it because if you let go, you feel that your partner will move on. Trust me, it doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like this. Don't quote me on this. It doesn't work like this if your relationship was special. Some relationships, and you've probably been in relationships like that in the past, you break up with that person and you feel, I'm going to find someone better. I'm going to find another relationship. I don't really mind. I don't really care. You feel strongly about your ex, and trust me, if you've had something special, if that love was mutual, if you have a strong history together, no contact will actually create an amazing effect on your ex. It will create an amazing effect on you, and that's the point of this video. But it also creates an amazing effect on your ex, and I will create a video, put a link somewhere, to see the benefit of no contact on your ex. If you're not sure whether your relationship was strong enough, whether no contact is the right strategy, and that strategy works for what I call recoverable relationship. The ones, and it's not majority of relationships can be recovered, but all my clients, they have to take that test to know whether their relationship is recoverable, because my methodology, my approach works only on those relationships. So I put together a quiz for you to assess that in less than 4 minutes. The link is in the description. The other thing that I see frequently as well, that's the last bullet point. Sometimes people stay in touch with their ex because their ex is a bit distressed by the breakup. And you might find it strange or that you act as an emotional support. So for example, they break up with you and their mother is ill. And they reach out because they're sad, they're depressed, they want to discuss with you because you are their closest person. You shouldn't accept that. They want you as a partner or they don't. And so by really having those sort of limits of boundaries, that will make you feel better. Because when you are people-pleasing, when you are in that people-pleasing mode, what's going to happen is that your self-esteem will get lower and lower. And you'll forget what really is important to you. And being aligned with what matters to you. 6 is to regain control. Again, this one is really efficient, really has a massive impact on your well-being, on your mental health. Because this time is your time to control the story. They took the decision to break up. Now you take the decision, okay, if you want to break up, I don't necessarily agree, but I accept. And I need that time to reflect. And we need that time to reflect. We need that time apart to think about what we want to do next. When you are in touch with someone who broke up with you, intrinsically, I put this word, it's a difficult one for me to say, they decide. Intrinsically, they are the ones who decide I don't want you in my life. And therefore, you are the one trying to chase, you are the one trying to get back with them, and they know it. By going into contact, you're also showing your strengths and you regain that control. So it's time for you to lead the way and to lead your new life. That's the principle. Your relationship is dead. What you're creating now is a new life. If you do the right things, your ex will want to join that new life. That's the principle. 7, reevaluate the relationship. That's what I do with my clients when we have sessions, is to really take that distance. Sometimes when we are in the middle of a relationship, in the middle of a problem, it's very hard to start self-reflecting. There's a famous example of a cognitive bias in a plane crash, Paris-Rio Air France. Crashed because the pilots were only focused on one indicator that was actually broken. And he failed to see that the plane was actually, I don't know how to fly, basically, it was like foggy and he couldn't see that the plane was like that and couldn't lift anymore, couldn't fly anymore, and they crashed. Because he was watching as an indicator telling him, no, it's totally fine, but it's just like pressure or whatever. But he was only looking at one indicator. And it's very interesting because now they train pilots on this. The idea of, okay, when I have a problem, I need to take a step back. I need to look at other things and look at other points of data. When you're in the middle of a problem, you're failing to see 95% of the picture. And that's what therapists would do, is they will really help you understand other sort of blind spots that you're not aware of. And that could be the solution, that could be the answer of you to be happy in a relationship and potentially to be happy with that person that you're trying to get back with. So see it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to take that time for me, take that space for me, and learn from that. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.